Hello and welcome to
Take It to
Take It to
School.
School.
Dr. Tom
Dr. Tom
Prichard, I'm
Prichard,
your
I am your
host,
host,
JP John
JP John
Paz.
Paz.
Of course,
Of
joining me
course,
the
joining me
star
the
of the
star of the
show,
show,
former
former
WWE
WWE
World Tag
World
Team
Tag Team
Champion,
Champion,
8-time Full Run
Full Run
Wrestling
Wrestling
Tag Team
Tag Team
Champion,
Champion,
and one of the
and one of the
greatest
greatest
trainers
trainers
ever
ever
in
in
this
the
business,
business,
the
the
Doctor's Eye
Doctor's Eye
himself,
himself,
Dr.
Dr.
Tom
Tom
Prichard.
Prichard.
Dr. Tom,
Dr. Tom, how are you today, sir?
John, I'm doing great today. Thank you very much for asking. How are you doing today? That's the question.
Can't
Can't
complain.
complain.
Good.
We got
Wall
biscuits.
Warm biscuits first. Nice.
Ibsen.
Ibsen.
Hello.
Thanks for coming back, Ibsen. I thought you were gone forever.
What's going on the latest in JPWA?
Man, we had a great promo class tonight. Guys are coming on strong. This is the 6th week. So so we've been having some good classes. This summer it's been hot, and they've been leaving that round puddle every night in the middle of the ring. Good guys. We're going to Coalfield, Tennessee this week, Friday night. Joe Kazana Promotions, and they got a chance to see a good live event around Tennessee. They're setting up the ring tomorrow, and that's a big part of wrestling. That's I think a lot of people are still taking part in, but this is the first time. Well, actually, the second time, guys will be setting up a ring for Joe Kazana.
How you doing? From David.
Well, David, we're doing great. I'm doing great. Anyway,
Jesus. What's up?
Jesus, you're seeing what's up right now. This is as good as it gets, I think.
Barbara. Look at that. Hello,
Barbara.
Yeah. Hi, Barbara. I'm doing great.
Todd, interested in getting into announcing. How could your school help me?
Well, we can't. We don't teach announcers. We don't do referees either. That's one of those specialties that it's a rare job. Not a lot of people have it, and there's a reason for that. The competition is really stiff, and I would suggest trying to go to a local show that needs an announcer or commentator. If you're talking about ring announcing, that's a hard gig to get. Well, I mean, unless somebody knows you. If you have a friend who's running a show or whatever, but usually the guy running the show knows somebody who knows somebody for ring announcing. So, I mean, that just get known, get around there, and let everybody ask for an opportunity and see what happens. But we don't actually go into that at the JPWA.
Ibsen wants to be a student.
I can't be gone forever. I'm forever a student for this class. Oh, this class. I'm sorry.
Yeah. There you go.
Good. Very cool.
Now, obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on. There might be a little bit of echo, as Barbara says here. Dr. Tom is a little bit of a...
How about that? How about now?
A little bit. Yeah, I
We're
can
gonna have
still
to
hear
deal with it. Yeah, I'm having technical issues. I'm in the process of getting them fixed. So we'll have to work on that, John.
Wanted to mention first the death of Judo Gene LaBelle. R.I.P. I know you had to share some memories with him on Twitter.
Yeah, he was. He and Mike LaBelle were two different animals, and Gene was one of the boys, and Mike was the boss. He was the promoter, and the few times I only spoke to Gene maybe 4 or 5 times. It wasn't a whole lot, but I was very hell. It was my first territory, and this was Judo Gene LaBelle. So he and Red Shoes Dugan were two of the nicest men at that time around Los Angeles, and Judo Gene was that gimmick who lived it, but he was a very nice man. And yeah, he was always cool to be around, always cool to talk to. Mondo Guerrero put him over like $1 million before I met him. So, and it was everything he said. Just a very nice man, loved the business, but a badass when you didn't want to piss off.
Proteges were Ronda Rousey and Piper.
Yeah.
Roddy Piper.
Yeah, I can see why. Judo Gene, I think again he was one of the boys, and you know the story about him and Bruce Lee. Apparently, we weren't there, obviously, but that makes sense. And there's a lot of great stories about Gene LeBell with Bearcat Wright not wanting to drop the belt, and so they sent him to the ring, and then had Gene come out in a mask as a hangman or executioner or something like that. So he was a guy everybody respected and knew if it came down to kicking somebody's ass, it was going to be yours. So.
What is the Bruce Lee story for everybody in case they don't know it?
What's that?
The Bruce Lee story.
On the set of the Green Hornet, Bruce Lee was being an asshole to the stuntman, and Gene, I think, shut him down or hooked him or did something and embarrassed him. Then he put him on his back, and that could have been it too. I think there's a couple versions of the story, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think even did a version of it. Did you ever see that movie? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No, I need to see it.
Oh, okay, great movie, I think. But the deal was that Bruce Lee wasn't treating people with respect, the stunt guys and everything else. But Gene worked with him on the set of the Green Hornet, and they got to know each other. And Gene was a martial artist, and I think he helped Bruce Lee in some things too. Yeah, there was some heat there for a while, I guess. At least as the folklore stands. Obviously, you weren't there. I wasn't there, so we don't know what really happened. But that's the story that Gene LeBell supposedly put Bruce Lee in his place on the set of the Green Hornet, and I could believe that. He was the referee in the Ali Inoki match, so he was a pretty important guy and a pioneer along the same lines that I think universally anybody would say he was a legit badass.
The awesome thing, his grip. You put like the watermelon or whatever on your arm, you could pop it. Yeah, he had that grip.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that were fun to be around if you were on the right side. Like Danny Hodge used to go in the shower with his grip and just turn the faucets all the way to where you couldn't get any hot water or something, or break them off, or some ridiculous, insane strength that these guys had, that you wanted to be on their side if there was ever a fight, because if they hooked you, you knew what was going to happen.
The King of Kingsport, Bo James, says he choked out Steven Seagal. There's video floating around it.
Yeah. So he was, he didn't take a whole bunch of crap, I don't think. If he didn't like you, especially Steven Seagal's that guy around Hollywood that maybe fabricates some of his martial arts skills. It doesn't take much to figure out, and I think karate and all that stuff, any of those arts or fighting, I think you have to on a regular basis to stay skilled. I truly believe you don't use it or lose it. And, I think it was amazing that Gene LeBell could, I don't know if at this stage, how good he was at the quickness or anything else, but I still wouldn't want to mess with him.
Now, Meltzer was recently talking about Judo Gene, and you kind of mentioned it too, that Mike was hated, Gene was loved.
Right. Yeah.
Why?
Huh?
Why though? What was Mike?
Why? Because Mike was a
smarmy.
No, Mike was a smarmy, slimy snake. I got along fine with him because, again, I had no reason not to, but you could see the slickness and the lack of respect he had for not just the business, but the wrestlers, the boys themselves. I remember one time we had a coal miners battle royal, and there's something at the top, either a bag or whatever it was, and it fell down, and this was on TV, and he actually stopped and came out and had somebody climb up and put it back up. it was the damnedest thing. And they would have the time on the Olympic Auditorium right behind you, and they would just put the time for the TV that you needed to be out, and you'd finish at 0. And there wasn't a lot of people at the Olympic back then, but Mike was just a scum, or he was, I didn't know him that well. And I only spoke to him a couple times too when he would come down, but he barely came down to the locker room. And he barely conversed. But I think it was just the fact that he was more of the office side of things, and Gene was more of one of the boys. And I think back then it was especially for some people. They didn't want to be part of the office, and and Mike was that guy. He just kind of, I think he put himself on a different level than everybody else. So.
Rich, actually, sorry, Rick wants to know. Pampero Furco, was he in LA when you were there?
He sure was. I worked with him a few times. He was another nice, very nice man. There were some nice people in LA when I first started. It wasn't drawing very well. You had guys like John Tolis and Ox Baker, Furpo, Ron Starr. And again, you had good veterans outside the ring like a Gene LaBelle and a Red Shoes Dugan. And when Freddie Blassie would come in, which he did, he came in twice when I was there. They were all. It was a cool vibe. It was a cool thing for everybody. So, but it was in its dying days, no doubt. Phil, good evening.
Yes. Phil and Mike. Hello. So Mike Masters, aka Rocky Jones, also passed away. I actually interviewed him a few years ago. But what was your thoughts on the passing of Mike? Gone too soon, obviously.
The strange thing, he actually was working one time as a producer for the Sally Jesse Raphael show. Yeah. And I don't remember. It might have been in Nashville, but he called me out of the blue one time, and I don't even know how he got my number. But somebody had given it to him, and he was a great guy. He was actually. He and I lived together a little bit. He lived with me and Van Nuys when I was out there. He lived like a couple months, and then he moved to Oregon. But he was a great guy, and he was one of the guys I always kept in my mind. And when they were looking for a name for Chris Mordetsky, that's where I thought, what about Chris Masters? Because Mike was the same guy, kind of muscled up guy, and he, I don't know if he had the master lock or not, but it just kind of fit. It kind of worked with Chris. So that was the guy I was thinking of when we were in OVW and thinking of names, and I just threw it out there. So that was Mike Masters. So yeah, it was a little shocking. When I saw that, I guess it was yesterday, and you know how your stomach kind of goes, oh, now I don't know. So, yeah, that was everybody's everybody from that territory is pretty much going away.
And he had a great run in the WWF. I know, obviously, a lot of losses, you could say, but I mean, Bill Mascaras, Hogan, Iron Sheik, worked a lot of big names.
Yeah, and he was a good worker. Very good worker, too. He lost his hair in L.A. to Mascaras, so he was great.
So the topic at hand we want to talk about was Triple H, EVP of Talent Relations. He's now head of creative. Johnny Ace is fired. Vince is in more trouble. We'll get to that later if we can. But let's just talk about Triple H. There's a question here. Oh man, where is it? Looking for it. Here we go. Who had a better mind for the business, Triple H or Shawn Michaels? This is from Matty O.
Wow, I don't know who has the better mind. I think both of them are pretty intelligent in the business and know what to do and have a feel for it. And they both share the same way of thinking, I believe, on a lot of stuff. So I don't know who has a better mind though. I couldn't say one or the other. I think both together and or they might. I believe they have the same outlook and same perspective on what wrestling should be. I personally think Triple H is more of an old school guy, but he understands the new school fans, and he understands you have to keep up with the times. You can't stay. You keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you get, and you got to change. You got to keep moving. You got to keep trying to get better and staying in tune with your target audience or whoever your audience would be. Wrestling has always been, I truly believe it's always been like from kids to teenagers to maybe young, 20 to 30-year-olds. And then after that, I think it goes in waves, those decades or those eras. And I don't know what era we're in right now. What era would you say we're in as far as the style of wrestling? Like the 70s was classic, still coming from the 60s, work the hold, tell a story. These days, there doesn't appear to be a whole lot of working the hold. There's a little storytelling in it, but you better be damn athletic today to get over or to get somebody to notice you, I think.
It's like athletic, less psychology era, kind of.
Yeah. And so, but once again, if that's what people are wanting, give them what they want.
For David, was DX Triple H's idea or Shawn Michaels' idea?
I honest to God don't know, but I would imagine it would be certainly a meeting of the minds, or it could have been somebody else's idea. Somebody could have said, hey man, when he said degenerate, no, we are degenerates. All right, let's do DX. It was great for the time. It was perfect timing on everybody's part, and they had a great cast of characters who were actual characters in life. So it was authentic and it was real. I thought it was that's what's missing today, is that authenticity and realism for whatever reason. And I don't mean realism in what everybody believes they're fighting. I mean realism as when they come out as who they are. That's who they are. I mean, you can see that the realism in them. They're not playing a part; they are the part.
From Roger, funny comment. I saw Dr. Tommy. I told him my teeth were yellowing. You prescribed him a brown turtleneck shirt.
Very nice. Well, that sounds like my advice.
When did you first meet Triple H?
Gosh, well, when it came to WWF, I guess. So, what was that?
95-ish.
Pardon me?
95.
Probably. If that's when he came, that's when I met him.
What did you think about it?
Thought he was a star. He looked like a star. Obviously, when he came in, he was smart, did what he had to do, and did the right things. So, yeah, very talented guy. You knew he was going to be a top guy. He looked like a top guy. He couldn't be anything else but. Wouldn't make sense. He was smart enough. He knew where to go, knew who to talk to, knew what to do. And he was dedicated. He looked the part. He was the part. How could you not pick him out to be a top guy? I don't know if Steve Regal brought him in. I'm sure he might have certainly helped if asked.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he got brought in, because Regal was still in WCW at that point.
Yeah. So if Regal got there after Triple H, which, yeah, he probably did. Yeah, I mean, they had known each other from there, but I don't know. I don't know the story.
Has he called you for any input?
Who? Triple H? No, I think he lost my number back in 2012. Yeah, I'm okay with that. He knows how to get in touch with me.
Any ill will?
I think he's doing just fine. Yeah, no, is he? Has he called you for any insight? Well, let me think. Was that call I missed? No.
Any ill will towards him.
Pardon me?
Any ill will towards him.
Well, I'm gonna have to turn you up because this really sucks. Any what?
Ill will.
Towards Triple H? No, I understand. I totally understand. When you're in that position and you have people to, you want your stuff your way. I want stuff done my way, and I understand that. But I'm not. I wasn't the boss. He was. He is, and he wants people he wants in there, and so he put his people in place. We were never really tight, and it was superficial conversation at best. So that's on me, but that's the way it was. So I have no ill feelings towards him whatsoever. I really don't. I think that once you learn how because I've fallen into that too. You don't want to be around people you don't want to be around, and you want people to do things the way you want them to do it, especially when it's your deal. So that's why I don't want anybody helping me teach right now at the JPWA. I want to do it my way, and I always tell people there's your way, my way, but the right way, the only way, does not exist. So learn how to adapt. This is just one way to do it, and because he had other plans, that's the way it goes. I don't have any ill will or any animosity towards him at all.
Do you see any Killer Kowalski style or characteristics in H?
No, no, not necessarily, because Kowalski was real methodical. I think probably what Kowalski did was see something in Hunter and give him some ideas and give him some advice on what he should and shouldn't do. And that's just body language. And I think that's all perception too. And I think Hunter's a smart enough guy. He knows old school wrestling. Is still able to get over when you have guys who are passionate about it and know how to do it. If you've never believed this was real, then it's a hard thing to try to translate, because you don't understand the feeling a real wrestling fan got when you got that pop, when you saw the guy win the belt. You saw you're the guy you wanted to win the belt, and you really believed it, and they made it look so good. And you know how that feeling is. If you've never felt that, then you don't understand what it feels like, obviously, and you don't know how to work towards that for anybody else to feel the same way. If you're in the ring and you feel the moment, you feel the crowd, and you're feeling every, now you're getting the flow. If you don't understand that, then I don't see how you can understand what we're trying to accomplish. You're trying to get that pop. You're trying to get people to get emotionally invested. You're trying to get people to feel it. Why did you watch wrestling in the first place? Because you believed that stuff was real, man. They were superheroes, and these were not ordinary people. And Triple H had that. Triple H knew he could feel it in the ring. He could feel it before he got to the ring. And so, Kowalski did that, but he was in a different way. I think Kowalski, especially when he was teaching, he was such a good man too. He was another very nice man. He would give the confidence, and Hunter had confidence, no doubt. And without confidence, it's not going to work either. There's a couple ingredients in that recipe that you cannot exclude. And I think Triple H will see that will feel the confidence off of somebody, and he'll know otherwise too. So he's a smart guy, he really is. But and I just think that he had he kind of developed his own style, his own that worked well for him. He might have done some stuff Kowalski told him to earlier, but I think he developed into Triple H.
Did he get a lot of backstage heat for marrying the boss's daughter?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. But, I think that the environment back there was pretty much controlled anyway. And I think if he did get any heat, nobody was going to say it, but I don't think so. But I really do think. No, never mind. I won't even say that.
Roger said Triple H did China wrong.
Well, probably so. And when you get involved in romance, sometimes it doesn't work out. And human beings are human beings. And yeah, maybe so.
David says, were they dating? China? Yes. China and Triple H were dating.
Right. Yeah, they were dating, making towns, kind of living together, I guess, on the road.
And China said Triple H was cheating on her, Stephanie.
Well, very possible. Again, affairs of the heart can be very, very delicate. And when you're close to somebody every day and then you show up and they're close to somebody else at work and you know it, it can be very awkward. It can be very difficult, no doubt. But I don't think it's only here. I think it's everywhere.
Why does Triple H name his finishing move after dog food? The pedigree.
Because it sounded good to him. Also, I think you know the difference between pedigree dog food and what a pedigree is, so I'll leave that alone.
Let's see if any other good questions. I'll wait on a couple of questions. With Triple H, though, when was the last time you spoke to him?
Right before I got fired.
Oh, that's the last time. Never talked to him since.
No, I haven't seen him. At all the shows I've gone to in Knoxville, he hasn't been in. So I haven't even seen him.
Damn, maybe he'll pop up recently or coming up.
Well, here's the deal. I'm not really holding my breath. I was never part of his crew, and I'm okay with that. So there would be no reason to talk to him. And it's not that I wouldn't talk to him, not that I wouldn't say hello. It's all good. But I just haven't seen him. There hadn't been the opportunity. It's like, again, sometimes you don't talk to anybody for a while. And I'm not one of those guys who calls up every day or every week. So that's on me too.
Did you give any good ideas when you were a road agent in '98? Did you ever work with them?
No, not one. I gave some ideas, but not any good ones, no.
Have you ever worked with them? I can only find one match, and you were actually the referee.
Worked with who?
Triple H.
Oh, no. Just as a scab referee. No, I haven't worked with Hunter.
It was 1999. It was Shane and Test versus China and Triple H, and you were the scab rep.
Yes, I was. Yep.
Why did you think he was such a star, Triple H? Like, what is like
Look at him.
about him?
Look at him. Yeah, he looked like a star. He carried himself as a star backstage and on stage. He was the part. He wasn't playing a part. He went to the gym. He didn't drink. He took it seriously. He handled himself like a star. He looked it. He was it. You knew it. You didn't know. He looked like somebody. You didn't have to go. Does he clean up the place? No. No. Triple H looked like a star. So.
Prichard says, smart guy, Triple H. He was a roid head. Nothing more. What do you think about that?
Well, unless you know him, I don't know if you're qualified to say that. But you're welcome to your opinion. A lot of you're gonna have haters anywhere, so that's okay. But he was a lot more than just a roid head, and I think he fit the part, and I believe that's more than half the battle is looking the part. If he was hooked up with Shawn Michaels, it didn't matter, because they came across, they complemented each other well, and Triple H could be Shawn's, big dog to back him up, just like Diesel was, and I think he played it well. He understood that to get over, you got to get over it, where it counts, and you've got to have ideas, and they've got to work, and you got to be spontaneous, and you got to take chances, and that doesn't always win you friends, but you got him some influence. So you got to say the guy's a smart guy. He knows how to play the game. He is the game. That's the gimmick, but he lives it, and that's how I think.
What does Triple H need to do to improve the rating?
You know what? I've thought about that too, but I have no idea. I have no idea what would improve the ratings. It's going to take a while, I think. It could be just the culture in society today. It could be just the mood everywhere you go. I don't know what would change things. I really don't. I thought for a minute, you kind of think if you try to go back to telling stories with personal issues and championships and stuff like that, is that too archaic? Is that too far down the line that people won't care even more or care even less? But it's got to be something to get the attention of people, so they put down whatever they're doing right now, because there's so much to do. Nobody's ever just idle and sitting there and calm for a minute, I think. Everybody's either on your phone, your laptop, watching TV, playing a game, something. So what are you going to get? What is the key? What do people really want to see? Do people want to go back to the days of Dory Funk and Jack Briscoe? No, I don't know. If you can make it exciting, if you can get something where people are talking about it again, maybe. But what is going to get them talking? Who are your stars? Who looks like somebody special? Everybody looks like your next door neighbor, or they don't look. There's nothing that stands out other than Roman Reigns, Lesnar, and I can't name everybody, but you know what I mean. Where are your Austins? Where are your Rocks? Where are your Mankinds? Where's your Hunters? Where's your Shawn Michaels? I don't see them. Maybe they're on the horizon. I don't know. But I know that the more that this is being sold as this is what professional wrestling is, you're going to get the people who believe that this is all there is, and they don't see the other part. So I don't know. I didn't fall in love with this type. I fell in love with the drama and the stories, the promos, the mystery, not everybody knowing everything, but different time, different place, different culture. What's going to be the next big thing? I don't know.
Do you think that he could be the head of creative, even though in NXT he lost to AEW so much?
AEW was new, and there were certain circumstances that people would say, because I didn't watch NXT a lot either, but people would say NXT was actually a pretty good show, right? The better wrestling show. Mm-hmm. So now I understand that it is more spot nonstop than it is about the wrestling. That could change in an instant too, if the mandate came down and said we're going to try this going forward, and we're going to tell stories this way going forward, as opposed to scripted hold for hold, move for move matches and promos. But the problem is there's not a lot of guys on the roster. There's a few, but not a lot, who can go out there and feel it, know what you're doing in the beginning and the end, and fill in the rest. Create, have a match, call it on the fly, without having it written down, because it looks so rehearsed, pre-programmed. So there's, if that's what it needs, who do you have to make that happen? I think that style might be out the window. Maybe it's because it is a TV business now. You have to know everything, boom, 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 so they know where to hit it. I mean, that could be it. But I still think, I don't know what I don't think it's necessarily a change in styles as it is. You've got to have some dynamic personalities, spectacles. You got to have people that, like a Hogan, like an Andre, like a Steamboat or a superstar Billy Graham, Dusty Rhodes. I mean, where are they at? I don't know about. I don't know what's going to make ratings soar.
What's one thing today you would change in WWE TV? Well, like, what would you tell Triple H to change?
Well, once again, I honest to God, I don't know if you can actually. Oh, actually, I think you can. You can tell and explain, and also show by demonstration the videos and get a look at these people. If you have the personalities, for instance, it wouldn't be a Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali, and those are some names from the past. It wouldn't be Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali, unless Joe Frazier was that bad son of a bitch and Muhammad Ali was that bad magical son of a bitch. They were legit. They were real. They also understood business. I'm not saying any of their fights were fixed, but what I'm saying is they understood how to have a great boxing match along the way. There was a reason, I guess, why Tyson's fights lasted as long as they did or didn't, but that was also building up. It used to be that way with wrestling. Why can't it be that way again? The answer is because nobody knows how to do it. But I think that would be a change of pace. That would be a change in style. That would be a change of something if you had people who understood it and felt it. And because that's really what it is, about getting a feeling from people watching it. And get a feeling from people in the arena, especially. I mean, the timing, the slowing down. A lot of people rush and they don't realize it. But just slowing down instead of boom, 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 boom. That's exciting, no doubt about it. But how long has that been going on now? Has it been the last decade at least? Of the high spot?
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Well, maybe it's time for a change. I've had a bunch of Rocky Road ice cream for the past 10 years. I'm tired. I want to try banana. I want to try something else. I don't know. That might be something to try, but you have to have people know how to do it and want to know how to do it. I don't believe you can hand out passion to the NIL guys. Some might turn up, but some might not. Most I'm not so sure about, because if you don't have a love for this, it's not going to be enjoyable. I truly believe that, because it wouldn't be enjoyable if you're going to do the drills and do the wrestling stuff that we do. That's what I think.
Triple H was an okay character, same exact match every time, but the guy knows his psychology. That's from Carl.
Okay, well, honest to God, I don't know if it was the same exact match every time, but we all have the same exact match every time. We have a beginning, a middle, and an end. We shine the baby face, we get our heat, and we go home. So I mean, there's basics all the same. But you got to admit, Hunter was a compelling heel. He was a real nasty, obnoxious, arrogant, egotistical narcissist, and rub your face in it. So and he was real. You wanted to see him get his ass kicked. So I think he was a pretty smart heel. I think he was a pretty entertaining heel.
Roger says he never mailed it in.
I don't think so.
Barbara says he didn't party like the other members of the clique. That may have helped him. Not a drinker, partier, drugger, anything like that?
No, I'm sure it did help him. Yeah, he took care of himself, and he took it seriously. So yeah, I'm definitely sure it helped him. Proof's in the evidence, yeah.
He wasn't a party guy?
No, was not. He would be in the bar, but he'd be drinking a Diet Coke, maybe water. So, no, he took care of himself.
Will he be bringing back Ric Flair to WWE?
Well, if there's one thing I've learned, never say never.
I think that he's in good standing with them because he's back in the intro, Rick.
That's what I'm saying. Never say never. It's crazy. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Did Triple H ever get ribbed for having that schnoz, that big nose?
Yeah, I think there were a few people who got away with that, but that was commonplace, I think.
What did you think about Triple H, let's say 2000s era, beating everybody? He beat Goldberg and Nash and Booker T, Kane, RVD. There was pictures of him with the burials, with the tombstones. What do you think about that era, Triple H?
I think he was smart enough to get that done, and anybody who says differently is just jealous. Look, if you really look at it and think about everything that happens in professional wrestling, you are the one responsible for you, and you're the one responsible for negotiating, going over, or doing a job. It's just wrestling. So what does it matter, right? What does it really matter? Who wins and who loses? Oh, okay. In that case, I'll win. Well, I mean, Hunter maneuvered. Hunter did what he had to do. Love him, hate him, disrespect him, whatever you want to do. No, you can't disrespect him. You got to at least give him the respect that he did go in and give his ideas and say, hey, I think I should go over, and convinced him. Whoever it was, that's talent, no matter what you say. It's all about the negotiation, and you're convincing whoever it is, whoever's in charge, to put their faith in you, and then you got to produce. And I don't know, man. I think every time he went out, he believed he was the game. He didn't shortchange anybody. He'd do the entrance. He'd spit the water. He did all the stuff that a star does. And he negotiated to go over. He negotiated to become a star. He wanted to be. He knew his plan. So how can you fault the guy for going in there in a shark-infested tank and thinking he's going to be a guppy? No, he's going to put his fins on too, and he's going to swim with them. And he was out for blood. He didn't care. Those are the guys we're still talking about. Those are the guys that were most successful, right, wrong, or indifferent, morally or ethically correct. They did it that way, and they accomplished what they want to accomplish. So you may not like it, and you may think it's totally wrong. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but that's life. People want to say that, no, it's really not. But no, it really is, because that's what it is. That's what they did, and that's what you have to do. So when he's beating everybody, it's because the other guy didn't say enough. No, I'm not going to get beat. The other guy said, okay, cool. I get it. But don't fault Triple H because he outmaneuvered the guy who was trying to outmaneuver him. Because it's not like at that level you're going to say, oh yeah, go ahead. No, sure. No, don't worry about me. No, because you are worried about you. Nobody else was worried about you, so you damn sure better be worried about you. And he was. That was about all he worried about.
Phil says pedigree, of course, was reference to Triple H's Blue Blood roots,
well,
which was the gimmick, and that's why it's really called pedigree.
Yeah, we knew that. But,
Yeah, that's a dope. But I like that joke.
That was a good joke, though. Ha ha. Okay.
Was NXT Triple H's idea?
I do believe that was his idea. We had FCW in Tampa, and then it started the NXT thing. Excuse me. on Raw, SmackDown, right? Anyway, they had a group of guys go from there to NXT, and then it became NXT. It was when, right around the time when I think the internet was reporting that FCW was going away, and they were moving to Orlando. And I called the office and said, "Hey, what's this about going to Orlando?" So, "Oh no, that's not true. I don't know how they got hold of that. I don't even know why they printed that." Oh yeah, now I know. So they actually told me a lie.
Can't believe that.
I'm real. No, I actually did believe it. So that's okay. The writing was on the wall, John.
Now, with Triple H, obviously NXT was his baby. Now he's in charge of WWE, the creative. He's doing EVP of talent. Is it too much to do both, like EVP of talent and creative?
Well, I know it's a stressful job. Doing one, but doing two? Okay. He's had a heart condition. He's got some health issues, but I think that goes back to understanding what he has to do. And I don't think he's going to have the same crazy hours as Vince had. I think he's going to take, realize that people need sleep. And I think he's going to pay attention to that. So I think he'll work just as hard and be reasonable about everything too. He'll find out if it's too much. Hopefully he doesn't find out the hard way. But I would think he's going to surround himself the same way Vince did. And there's a couple people I think he would surround himself with up there. But it's going to be a stressful time, but I think he'll probably wind up calling in help. I hope he does.
Do you think that he's going to start bringing all his guys back? It seems like Killer Cross is back, Dakota Kai is back, Dexter Lumis. You think he's going to keep bringing in all of his guys?
I don't know if he'll bring in all of them. I think some are under contract, right? So I think he probably will contact who he thought might need a chance, that he might be able to mold, have something to do with, and help them be successful. Because at this point now, it's the more people who become successful, the better he looks, and he doesn't want anybody to fail. I truly believe that. So when I hear about holding people back, yeah, I get that too. But at this point, I think he does have an eye for talent. I think he also knows what looks good and what doesn't look good. So I don't know.
To me, it's going to be a really tough test to see how he does, because NXT wasn't as successful as it needed to be, which is obviously why Vince got rid of all those guys. So we'll see.
Well, yeah, but you also have Sean down there too, and so Sean has a really good head on him, along with, I believe, Finley is down there now too. Robbie Brookside, who I've never met but I've heard nothing but great things about. Norman Smiley does a great job with the women, and so he's got some guys he can rely on to do NXT, and he can kind of oversee, and just hear it out and let them try it, and I think they've been okay with Sean as the captain right now. So I don't know, man. It's uncharted waters for sure, but I think in my gut it tells me that Triple H is welcoming the opportunity and the challenge that he's got right now, because it's right. He's where he's always wanted to be. He's in control of the business, and he can make it whatever he wants it. And I know he knows, I truly believe that he knows he can't do it alone. And he needs people he can count on and people who know what they're doing. And I think he knows where to get them.
The thing about his career, like, what do you think his legacy is? Because Meltzer once called him the B-plus player. Cornette once said he's the guy that works with the guy. Meaning Rock Austin, top, he's below as a heel worker. What do you think of his legacy?
I think his legacy is he fulfilled the prophecy that he pretty much put out, saying he was going to run this place in 5 years, and he is. He's running the place now. He's the guy who replaced Vince. You know, that's a pretty heavy legacy to have, but that's the way history is right now. It's the way it's going to look at him. You know, I don't think he's in an envious position, but at the same time, I think he welcomes the challenge. He really does. He's been watching for a while, and I'm only guessing. This is just pure speculation on my part, but I think he's watched the mannerisms, the little things that Vince would do. And the little things Vince took care of in meetings, his body language, his ability to do whatever he does, magically, you know, to walk in there talking to him, and he'll assure you that everything is fine and you're going to see a better day tomorrow and all this other crap, and you walk out going, what just happened? I think he studied that. And so everybody, but I go back to the point that everybody needs to understand. You're coming at it from the process of everybody is working everybody, from executives all the way down. And I think that's in any company, any organization that you have all this, especially in the entertainment business. And as we were talking earlier about Triple H maneuvering to win and beat everybody, it's the same thing. You're maneuvering for a spot on TV. You're maneuvering for time. You're maneuvering for merchandise. You're maneuvering for all this stuff. And it takes energy, and it takes passion, and it takes understanding the person right next to you or across from you is going to say, oh, you know what, I understand completely. Oh, we're going to get on that. We're going to work on it. It's great. Don't worry about a thing. Don't worry. It's all good. We good? Good. Now go out and do that. Oh, by the way, you're fired. That kind of stuff. So, yeah, it just brought up stuff. Yeah, you know, everything's okay. Don't worry about a thing. We got you. You know, it's all good. No, you sure? Yeah, no, trust me. It's fine. What? Yeah, we need to talk to you. I'm going a different direction.
Typical.
Been there. That's what I'm saying. So, you know, I can't be mad about anything. I really can't. It's the entertainment business. It's wrestling. It's a lot of things that people don't really understand when we say it's more real than you believe. It's more real than you think once you get in it. And then you get caught up in this crap, and you lose perspective, and you get angry, and you get bitter. And then you look back and go, whoa. Don't hate the player, hate the game. You know? So that's what it is.
Let's get to some fan questions. Brian Starr, can you please go into detail about the man in the middle drill?
All you doing, we got one man in the middle, we have two people on each corner, sometimes more, and they feed in, like we go 5 times in a routine, another 5 times, we do that like 5 times. So we wind up at the corner we started at, and that's just a brief explanation, but it's basically the man in the middle doing 5 repetitions of a move or a sequence. Boom, and then they go to the next corner and they do a different sequence 5 times. Boom, and then they go to the next corner, which is the third corner, and they do a different sequence 4, different sequence 5. And it takes you about sometimes 20, 30, sometimes 45 minutes, depending on how much we got. A lot of fun.
Is Vince still pulling the strings?
I don't believe so.
Hope not, right? Jeez.
Well, no, yeah, he's not. He's not allowed to, and that would be a real stupid move on his part. I don't believe he is. I mean, I have no way of knowing, but I don't think he is.
So an old USWA match between you, Terry Garvin, versus Jerry Lynn and Danny Davis. I always felt Jerry Lynn should have made it bigger. Was there anything holding him back?
No, I agree. Jerry Lynn should have definitely probably been bigger, but I think Jerry was content with what he did. And I think, once again, Jerry's probably one of those guys, very laid back, didn't make a lot of waves, didn't want to make a lot of waves, hell of a worker. And I think that was the only thing, just not being aggressive and pushing for anything else. I think he was content and happy where he was. He had some, he had some pretty good matches in his career. He really did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Great
I
wrestler.
don't. It certainly wasn't talent. It was just sometimes you too laid back and you don't make too many waves.
How did you react when you were presented with the body gone as gimmick? Sorry.
Well, wasn't real happy. Didn't really want to do it, and then all of a sudden I thought, I don't have anything else right now, so let's do it. But I did not like it. I didn't like it when I did it. Wasn't feeling it. It was not a good time. But once again, that's all on me, man. That's a whole different show and a whole different time.
Dream opponent never wrestled.
Terry Funk.
Easy, right? That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I wrestled Dory, but never wrestled Terry.
Now, Dr. Tom, let's go to the plugs. Where can we get the awesome book?
Well, great. You can get that awesome book at jpwrestlingacademy.com. Just click on the homepage training. It'll come up, and you can order it at jpwrestlingacademy.com.
Barbara says required reading for new WWE stars.
Well, some of the suggestions might be, I mean, the yearly workout schedule is different, and there's a story why I wrote the book in the beginning, or in the first place, but there are some good suggestions in there if it might be required reading, but they also have their own book now. And they require them to read that, so I think they want to live by their book.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at 2Man Power Trip. You can follow Dr. Tom on Twitter at Dr. Tom Prichard. Go to Pro Wrestling Tees, ProWrestlingTees.com. Visit JPWA or Dr. Tom. Dr. Tom, what else you got going on?
We're going to Coalfield, Tennessee this Friday night at the Coalfield School, and everybody's going to have a really good time. Hope to see everybody out there as well. And JPWA keeps rolling along. We're coming up next week will be the 7th week. And then we're moving into the fall, and it's going to be a lot of fun then, too.
Thank you, everybody out there for listening. We'll see you right back here next week for a little Take You to School. Dr. Tom Prichard. We'll see you next week, folks.